In 2023, a man who is now the acting secretary of the United States Navy told a podcaster that witches had taken over a city in California, specifically Monterey. His name is Hung Kao, and the podcast he was on happens to be hosted by a Christian nationalist activist. And what's really interesting to me here is not so much the fact that Hung Kao said it, it's more that the word witch is being used to accomplish the exact same political ends that it did in Salem in 1692. All right, quick crash course here on the Salem Witch Trials. The Salem Witch Trials were about land acquisition, they were about fears from First Nation peoples, they were about mental illness, they were about a lot of things. They weren't actually about witchcraft. It began with a single accusation from a slave named Tituba. She accuses one person of witchcraft. A few months later, 20 people have been executed by the state. Now, basically every single politician since the Salem Witch Trials in the United States has known that you can't say witch hunt or witch trials in this country without striking a very specific chord in the hearts of the citizens. In 2023, Hung Kao goes on this Christian nationalist podcast. He says, quote, "A lot of witchcraft and the Wiccan community has really taken over." He's talking about Monterey, California. And his evidence is that a beach called Lover's Point used to have a Christian name. I'm not going to say anything else. That's it. That was his proof. Hung Kao then lost the Senate race next year. Sorry about it. Maybe you should have prayed harder. Unfortunately, he's now in charge of the United States Navy. So here's one of the things that Salem teaches us, and I feel like it teaches us this lesson every century or so. The accusation of witchcraft coming from people in positions of political power is never, ever, ever about people doing actual magic. It is always, always, always about who is in a position to hold power, maintain power, and who is not. That is it. End of story. Period. To a politician, the witch is the woman, capital D, capital woman, meaning not the man, capital D, capital man, aka the one who's in a position to hold power in the patriarchy. The woman is a dissenter. She is an outsider. She is the inconvenient one if you are trying to maintain political power. So how do you weaponize the specter of womanhood? You call it a witch so that you can disregard it. For a politician to call someone a witch is to clear the road of them. And that road is, of course, the road to power. To all of my Christian brothers and sisters out there in the United States, please recognize this for what it is and stop falling for the same trick they have been pulling on you since before the country was even founded. Stay weird, witches, and you know what? Stay weird, Christians too.